I personally believe that WrestleMania 17 is the greatest pay-per-view in WWE history. Live in Houston, this was filled with so many different matches with good storylines to tell, like Austin and The Rock's rematch, Triple H and The Undertaker's first match with the streak on the line, Kurt Angle and Chris Benoit's fantastic technical showdown, even Vince McMahon and Shane McMahon's street fight was good to see. Later, I'll go more in depth about all of them. But the match that stole the show wasn't any of those four matches. It was the now iconic contest now referred to as simply T.L.C. 2 that featured the tag team champions, the Dudley Boyz, putting their titles on the line against Edge and Christian and the Hardy Boyz in a tables, ladders, and chairs match dubbed T.L.C. The first team that everyone is obviously a fan of is the real-life brother duo of Matt and Jeff Hardy, who put on high-octane matches with crazy stunts that sent crowds into a frenzy more often than not. Then there was the team of Edge and Christian, two storyline brothers who were best friends and broke off from the Brood and the Ministry. Lastly, there was the Dudleys, which consisted of Bubba and Devon Dudley, known for bringing the hardcore essence of ECW to the WWE, along with wild entertainment thanks to their chemistry with each other and other teams, as well as some comedic skills like Devon's overselling moves. The WWE's tag team division flourished in 1999 and into the early 2000s, and there were many top teams in that division, but those three stood out more than others. And in fact, they're the pioneers of the TLC match. The Dudleys' iconic finisher was the 3D, and with that move, they love to include tables as extra punishment. When you think about ladders, the Hardys should be the first people to come to mind. They were high-fly daredevils, always leaving the crowd amazed with their aerodynamics. This may not be as iconic as the others, but at the time when Edge and Christian were on their own, they always attacked people with chairs, and their chair shots were brutal. The storyline for this match really isn't that deep. The rivalry began 8 months prior at SummerSlam 2000, where they had their first ever TLC match. These teams consistently fought each other in various combinations over the tag titles in a never-ending game of one-upmanship. These teams constantly attacked each other and got involved in each other's matches. Soon, each started bringing in allies to help their own. The Hardys had help from Lita. The Dudleys introduced their younger brother, Spike Dudley, and Edge and Christian enlisted Rhino. We begin the match, and we see the staples of this match being scattered throughout the arena and get a good look at the tag titles being raised high above the ring. We have Team Xtreme coming out first, hearing their iconic theme song. Growing up, I was obsessed with the Hardy Boyz like everybody else. They were just so cool to see, and they were so different from what we've seen in the WWE. Next are the heels of this match, Edge and Christian. I find it crazy to think that these two will go on to be one of the best legendary superstars to ever be in the WWE. Not gonna lie, I loved Edge's vibe in the early 2000s. His swagger plus the glasses and trench coat just made him look like a badass. Lastly, we have the tag team champions, the Dudley Boyz, with their missile entrance. Bubba is so locked in that you almost forget how comedic his sells are. All three teams are in the ring and they simultaneously look up to be reminded why they're there. There's determination in all these men to walk out as tag team champions. The Hardys and the Dudleys are the faces, so the four men jump Edge and Christian, with the Dudleys focusing on Christian and the Hardys focusing on Edge. The Dudleys get Christian high up for a high flapjack slam. Now the Dudleys and the Hardys are going after each other. Matt and Jeff Irish whip Bubba into the turnbuckle hard. They grab Devon and throw him right into Bubba. Jeff runs and does a cool ass aerial move against them both. Edge and Christian get themselves together and they grab a ladder, using it to run down the Hardys and the Dudleys. Christian gets Matt up top, hanging him upside down, and Edge comes and they step on all four of Matt Hardy's kids. I've never seen a move like this before, and of course Edge and Christian cement their places as heels playing dirty. Jeff tries to save him, but gets tripped headfirst into a chair set up by Edge. The Dudleys snatch Christian, then proceed to beat the brakes off him, while Edge is setting up the ladder trying to get the titles, but was stopped by Matt Hardy. Matt sees an opportunity, so he goes for it, but gets clotheslined by the pre-rated R superstar. Edge goes for it again, but Jeff stops him by using the chair to do a high drop kick. The Hardys pick themselves up, and we see both Dudleys holding a ladder. The Hardys both do a drop kick, catching the Dudleys to the face with that ladder. Christian sneaks back into the ring and goes for an attempt running up the ladder, but gets effortlessly dropped by Matt Hardy. The Hardys set up the ladder for a Team Xtreme spot. Christian sandwiched between these ladders, Matt on one ladder and Jeff on the other. Matt goes for his iconic leg drop, and Jeff does a frog splash onto Christian. The Dudleys recuperate themselves and get back in the ring and throw the Hardys outside. Bubba Ray slams slams Edge and sets him up for their iconic "What's That" move, with Devon doing a diving headbutt right to Edge's 2 kids. Devon emotes, Bubba demands for him to grab the tables, and they each get one. Bubba sets Edge up on the table, then Jeff gets back in the game and attacks him. He runs back and forth into the ropes trying to knock Bubba down and goes for Hurricanrana, but Bubba catches him, securing him. Then he powerbombs Jeff onto Edge, sending them both through the table. We see the Dudleys stacking the tables on top of each other. Everyone is scattered around, barely hitting each other, slugging around. The ladders are being set up under the belts. 3 ladders are up, and the 3 teams climb them and begin to have an epic battle, each guy reaching for the belt. Christian and Matt are the first to fall, then Devon and Jeff, and the last men standing is Edge and Bubba, and they punch each other so hard that they just fly off the ladder. Now everyone is down. Edge is the first to get up, and he is making his way up the ladder. We then see Spike Dudley running to the ring, and he does the acid drop to Edge. Christian gets on the apron, then Spike does the acid drop to him outside the ring onto a table. Jeff collects himself and tries to climb the ladder. Then Rhino comes out of nowhere and judo flips Jeff right off the ladder. Rhino was on full beast mode, and he grabs the ladder and rams into Devon and spears Bubba Ray. Rage mode continues when he spears Matt through the table. Rhino grabs a ladder and sets it up for Edge to grab the titles. Minutes later, we see Lita running to the ring. Edge is halfway up the ladder and she pulls him off and slams his head against it. Rhino protects Edge and gets Lita up to throw out the ring. Then Spike comes and gets him in the family jewels. Lita gets up top for Hurricanrana to Rhino. In the background, we can see Edge climbing up the ladder for the 200th time. Spike grabs a chair and gives Rhino a mean chair shot, and this causes Rhino to knock the ladder with Edge off right onto the ropes. The Dudleys get Rhino up for another Dudley tag move, knocking him down. Lita gets back in the ring with the chair and gives Spike Dudley a thank you for helping with Rhino. Lita takes her shirt off for some reason, but little does she know she gets set up for the 3D. Edge and Christian sneak back in the ring with chairs and smack Devon in the back and gets Bubba in the face. Outside the ring, we see Jeff beating the hell out of Rhino. Spike and Rhino are laid out on the tables, and Jeff is setting up the really tall ladder. He's at the top and swanton bombs the 2 allies through the table. Edge and Christian are setting up 3 ladders, and the really tall one is directly under the tag titles. Devon and Christian are the 2 to climb it, and they hang on to the belts. Matt gets in the ring and pulls the ladder underneath them, and they're hanging about 30 feet in the air. Christian is kicking Devon, and Jeff is on the turnbuckle. Christian is able to temporarily balance himself on one of the other ladders while Devon loses his grip and falls straight down. Then eventually Christian falls. This is one of the craziest spots in the match. Jeff gets the idea to play floor is lava using the ladders. He loses the game and decides to grab one of the ladders and climbs it. He's at the top and grabs both titles hanging on. This is the iconic setup. Bubba Ray grabs the ladder underneath him and Edge climbs halfway up the really tall ladder while Jeff is suspended in the air. Edge jumps off the ladder and spears Jeff Hardy mid-air, and they're both knocked out. Bubba is now setting up the tall ladder. Him and Matt are at the top and battling, even Bubba using the titles as a weapon. Rhino gets back in the ring and pushes the ladder over, and Bubba and Matt are sent flying through the table stacked outside. The last men standing is Edge, Christian, and Devon Dudley. Devon and Christian are climbing the ladder. Rhino has Christian on his shoulders, getting him up quicker, and Edge is behind Devon holding him back. Christian was able to grab the titles, and they win the match, becoming the new tag team champions. They're getting themselves back together while everyone else is knocked out and can't even move. The ring looking chaotic and looking like a car accident. This was a painful, amazing, athletic, an insane match to watch. Even though this was the 3rd one in the series, they found ways to make it different. The addition of Rhino, Spike, and Lita added something good to the match that wasn't there before. The spots in this match were once again awesome, as all 6 guys plus their 3 friends busted their asses to put on a great show. Jeff Hardy took the most insane bumps with the swanton onto Spike and Rhino, as well as the spear he took from Edge while hanging on to the belts. It was one of the sickest bumps of the whole event, and it's crazy to think that he's done more stunts similar to this one later on in his career. Christian was impressive when he fell all the way to the floor when he was pushed off the ladder. Even that spot of Matt and Bubba falling off the ladder through the tables was a crazy spot. The other thing that sticks out is the chemistry these teams had. They had everything planned out so meticulously and perfectly. It worked in every possible way. I liked the ending of this one better than the other 2, which makes it the best out of 3. I liked it because it was the heels acting like heels, cheating to win a match on the biggest stage of them all. I also think that 6 minutes is the right amount of time. I'm not docking the quality of the match because of the interferences. They were part of the match too. 2 of them got taken out and the other one didn't get fully taken out. Rhino played a perfect part in the finish because he was the force. it was part of the story. This is a fun match to watch, and it will never get old. It was an amazing performance by 6 guys who formed 3 of the best tag teams in the history of wrestling.
Hello everyone, hope you enjoyed this video. I plan on making more of these, but sometimes I hit a copyright claim from WWE. I'd like to show you highlights from the match, show you more action. If you'd like to see that, go to my Patreon, which is Chameleonaire, go to my TikTok, which is Chameleonaire, and visit my Instagram, which is Chameleon Season, for more action and more videos. Coming soon.